Hey guys, welcome to Wisecracking Blonde. I'm your host Christina, and joining us today is it Liz's cat? Joining us is Liz.
Oh my God, when you clapped, that started and I was like, is this her soundtrack for when she's introducing herself? Oh my God, Gatsby. It's usually Grandpa that's meowing.
Could you imagine if that was my intro music?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to say anything. Her creative vision. I'm not going to ask any questions.
I let him in, so he should stop.
Oh my gosh.
Right on time. He's like, are you recording? I have something to say.
Gatsby has a lot of opinions, so yeah, he'll be on the next show for sure. Oh, it was perfect. Okay, so I'm joined today by Liz and Amelia from the Holy Hour Podcast. And I just want to, so here's the whole backstory. I'm a sucker for TikTok. Like I'm like a hoe for TikTok. So I came across one of Amelia's videos because she does these super funny commentary on online dating profiles, and they're always fucking ridiculous, like always over the top ridiculous. And unfortunately, they seem super common because you get a lot of videos. So
endless content.
Wow. Yeah. So I went to add you, and then I saw that you had a podcast, and I saw that it was called The Holy Hour, and it was HOELY, and I was like, oh, we should be best friends. Because that is exactly my type of humor, and like I live for that shit. So then I went and checked out your guys' podcast, and I was like, oh, you're hilarious. And it's a very much like a nothing seems off limits. You're willing to talk about anything, which I always find refreshing. When women are able to talk about sex just very freely and very confidently, and nothing feels negative and nothing feels like there's any sort of thing to be ashamed about. And so in listening to your show and in listening to all your highlights, I was like, oh, I gotta have these girls on because this would be a super fun episode where we could just shoot the shit for a period of time. So our episode today is going to be trivia about sex and dating. And I'm going to use quotation marks sex and dating because it just was sort of like a hodgepodge of whatever I wanted to make it up to be.
Love that.
Yes.
I'm terrible at trivia, so.
Love it.
Perfect. A lot of them are multiple choice, so that should probably help. Yeah, normally my trivia categories are like very specific, like it's Marvel or Harry Potter or something very specific. But because this was so generic, I was like, oh, I should leave some options for you guys to choose from. I love this. Bring the cat on.
Amazing.
He's
did he go?
laying right across. He's in my room, so he's like right across from my bed.
It's so funny.
I like that we're apart but in the same place.
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic right now.
Yeah. I like that when you hear noises, Amelia's like, what's going on back there?
She doesn't usually get the headphones because I don't have a jack for both. Yeah. So this is her first experience.
I love this.
I'm feeling very official. I feel like when you give a baby a steering wheel in the back of a car and like they can pretend like they're driving. I'm like, look, I'm an adult with my headphones.
I am a podcaster.
They're not plugged into anything. They're just for show.
This microphone isn't plugged in. Yeah. We just want Amelia to feel involved.
It's all decorative. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Continue with the rules.
Yeah. But I wanted to get a little bit of information from you guys. So tell me about your podcast. How'd you get it started? Because you guys are hilarious. I'm assuming because you live in roughly the same area that your friends, and that probably kicked it off.
We met at work, and we've just like kind of always connected at work and been friends. And then after quarantine happened, Amelia kept saying like, let's start a podcast. And I thought it was a joke. And then one day I like messaged her at work and I was like, let's do it.
I was like, fuck yeah.
We were like, what should it be about? And then I think since we both were like trying to date through quarantine, I started dating because I was bored. And then Amelia started dating because she was like, I'm ready to get out there. Mm-hmm. And from there we were like, let's just make it about like sex and dating because like talking about sex is so funny sometimes. Like it's just fun to talk about. Like anytime you just talk about sex with your girlfriends, like at a bachelorette party or something, it's just fun. And you're like, why has this always felt like taboo? Like, why aren't we just like enjoying this conversation and joking around about it. Like,
Yeah, and I feel like every time anybody starts the conversation about sex, everyone's like, oh my God, yes, let's talk about it. It's like people are waiting for the open door.
Yeah.
And since Liz and I have started this, Liz has had this experience too, but I've realized like all of my friends have like come to me with their like sex like they're like, oh, okay, you have a podcast about this, can I tell you everything? Right. Like, fuck yeah, let's fucking go. So it's opened the door for us, and it's made it very clear that there are just like people are just waiting to have conversations about this. So it's ended up being really beneficial for our male listeners, which we were hoping for, but we didn't expect it to be this much, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because so I have my best friends, one is a man and one is a woman. And we have the same conversations. Like we talk about sex exactly the same, whether it's men or women. And my husband, I have this conversation with him and he's like, but wait, what do you guys talk about? And I'm like, all the things that happen. And he's like, but wait, like it's like a foreign concept for him because he does not talk to his friends with the same like open door policy that I do. And I'm like, yeah, you should. It's really liberating to just, because everybody's doing it. Nobody's talking about it. So just talk about it. And then you'll be like, oh shit, everybody's doing it.
And like for the most part, people aren't very like objectifying about it. Like most conversations are not like, yeah, and he was like so hot and his dick was huge. Like it's just more like, yeah, this awkward thing happened. Has this happened to you? And then it's really funny when it's a common occurrence. You're like, how come we haven't talked about this?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think the more we talk about it, the less stigma there is around it. Because I have the very biased opinion that I feel like there's too much stigma around these conversations that make it to where every conversation, the interpretation is that every conversation is titillating. And I'm like, no, these are just facts that are happening. Like nothing about this conversation is in any way like exciting. I'm just stating a fact of a thing that happened and like, then we're going to have a dialogue about it. So, so I love when people are open to talk about stuff. I also like have a terrible sense of humor and I love like, that's what she said jokes and all that shit. And I'm like, we should be able to just talk about this stuff and take the stigma away. Yeah. And then I feel like we can put ourselves out there more and be less objectified as like, oh, you're hot, therefore I want to bang you. I'm like, no, that's not the same thing. Like me in a bikini is just me being sexy in a bikini. That doesn't mean that we are going to have sex in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, that's awesome that you guys. So have you been friends for a long time?
Only since I moved here. So like almost 3 years, which isn't that long, but
it feels like much longer.
We have the same psychiatrist, and she says we're in the same soul pod.
Oh.
So our souls are friends.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I felt like that, though. We're going to get gushy now. I just love you so much, Liz. But, like, really, when I met Liz, I was like, I have to be her friend. And, like, I don't really feel that way often because, like, I don't know, it's just, like, becoming friends with somebody as an adult is, like, it's so... You don't really make a whole lot of new. It's so awkward. It's like, do we have a play date? Like, I don't know. Do you want to like grab a drink? But I don't know. It's felt like we've known each other for a lot longer than we have. And I think that also like talking about the most intimate parts of our lives together weekly now for over a year just kind of like speeds up the process anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's only been 3 years, which is weird to say.
Yeah. That's interesting because I feel like as adults, it's like damn near impossible to make friends. But then when you make them, you're like, oh, we will be friends forever.
Yeah.
Yep, that's totally.
I think that's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. My best friend basically was like, I have marked you that we will be friends. And I'm a Sagittarius. I'm very lazy when it comes to relationship stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever. If we hang out, we hang out. If we don't, we don't. And she was like, no, we're going to hang out Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Put it on your calendar now. And I'm like, okay. But had she not done that, like we never would have pursued a friendship because now it's been like 6 or 7 years. She's Scorpio.
Oh, okay.
She's very,
I was going to guess an earth sign. I was going to guess Virgo maybe.
Yeah, no, my other best friend is a Virgo.
I have a lot of Virgos in my life. Yeah. I could go on about astrology forever, but.
Yeah, I believe it when I believe it and I don't when I don't, but. Yeah. All right. Well, that's awesome because you guys I feel like the show's doing amazingly well. Like I see you guys online and everything's kicking and you're getting a lot of positive feedback and everything I see is funny. So that's awesome to just put good vibes out in the world and then you're doing it with your best friend. So it's a fun time regardless of whether anybody listens or not.
Totally.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's been really gratifying. I think that social media has really kind of, just in the past few weeks, we had a TikTok, and Liz was texting me like we were ending up on the wrong side of TikTok. There was just like a bunch of like just idiots just like wanting to hear two women talking about sex and like not like a woke way.
Creepy way.
Yeah. And so I posted this video that was just like, hey, like help anybody but the misogynists, help us get on the right side of TikTok. Yeah. And I think we have like 36,000 followers now. We had like 1,000 before that video.
Nice.
Insane.
Blew up, and our listenership has gone up a lot, and so it feels like things are really starting to roll now, which is cool. And we were getting a lot out of it before we had listenership, so it's just like it's a fun little bonus, and it feels like our listeners are our friends now. We know so many of them by name. I'm sure that you experienced that too with your podcast.
It's like a two-sided parasocial relationship, if that makes sense. Like, sure, like people listening have a parasocial relationship with you, but then like all of the emails that we get and like comments and stuff, you're like, okay, like collectively we totally, like, you guys feel like our friends already because we're all on the same page. But it's very interesting and fun.
Yeah, and that's I was on a podcast previously for like a year, and it did really well, and then we sort of parted ways, and I started to do my own thing, and we the people that I was very nervous to do my own thing, because you have that moment where you're like, oh, was I funny, or were we funny, or was she funny? And then you have that like evaluation of like, well, maybe it'll fall flat because it was just her, or it was just the two of us together. And there's been such a huge positive response of people that I'm like, oh, I've only ever known you through the internet, but you are more supportive than the people I have actually met in real life. And like, there's so many awesome people online that are just like hype people, that they're like, oh, this is a cool thing, and I'm going to support you, and I'm going to retweet your shit, and I'm going to like give you a shout out and all of these things. And I'm like, yeah, no, I have actual family and friends that have never listened to my show and will never listen to my show. And these people I've never met online are like, yeah, you're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. So it's really nice.
Yeah, it's fun to have like that kind of unique, special relationship with someone like you haven't met in real life.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then page about ideas and topics and having fun.
Yeah. And then you come across people that they're like, oh, I'm coming to the town that you're in. We should hang out. And you're like, oh my gosh, I might make a real adult friend again from these internet people.
It's so true.
Yeah, they're like little shining beacons of light, because there's so many assholes on the internet. Like, knowing that there are good people out there that just like want to see you do well. Like when I first started being like very online and people were nice to me, I'm like, what are you trying to do? Yeah, there's something fishy about that, but there's just nice people online. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, and Amelia, I'm sure you get a ton of backlash because you're making fun of a certain demographic, we'll just say, and those people tend to be very defensive about everything that comes their way.
Yeah, like there's people that are being like very openly problematic and hateful, and I get comments that are like, you really shouldn't make fun of these people. I'm like, what? So we're just gonna let them be problematic assholes?
Right.
I get. So exactly, I was about to say, I get like not that much, surprisingly. When I do get them, like people send out like the bat signal for Liz. Like they'll like
tag
Liz
in the comments, and I'm like, I'm here. Who am I fighting?
Liz is my attack dog. I'm just like, she's got it.
It's amazing.
Sit back with my popcorn and watch her piss off incels.
Everybody, yeah. That is amazing. Okay, so today's episode, like I said, we're going to be doing sex and dating trivia. I have a ridiculous variety of stuff in here. I'll just tell you that right now.
I'm so excited.
The rules are, we're going to start with Liz because she has Gatsby and therefore she is the most supreme of all of us. So we're going to start with Liz. Liz is going to just pick a point value from 1 to 3. So the questions don't have any difficulty this time because they're kind of all over the place. So she's going to pick a point value, just assign it to the question. I'm going to read the question, and then after the question is read, we're going to do name as your buzzer. So to test it out, question is read.
Wait, I have a question. Before you start, do we decide the point value before we hear the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then after I read the question, we'll do it testing. I have read the question. Go.
Liz. Amelia.
Okay, perfect. So that's how name as your buzzer works.
I have a significantly longer name.
I know you should blame your parents for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna call them up right after this.
You
Just
should.
things to say.
Yeah, we'll see if you win first, and then you can complain.
Good call.
Do you want me to use my full name, Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. No, you can use Liz. It's okay. I'm feeling confident today.
Okay, good. Yeah. So if the person who guesses or who puts their name out first guesses correctly, then they get the points. If they don't, the other person gets the chance to guess, and then we will keep score. We'll see how that goes, and then do a winner at the end. Also, we'll see how that goes. Okay. You guys ready? Simple enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Liz, I'm going to have you go first. Go ahead and assign a point value.
I'm going to pick 2, just to, we don't really know what's going to happen yet.
Okay.
It's very diplomatic of you.
Okay. Of course, this is okay. What is the ideal amount of time that intercourse should last? It's a multiple choice.
Amelia.
Liz.
Hold on. It's a multiple choice.
We've actually just talked about
Like,
this.
oh, I already know. A, less than 15 minutes. B, more than 15 minutes.
Amelia. Less than 15 minutes.
Yes, you are correct. Did you guys talk about how long it actually is?
I think it is like 11 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 7 to 13.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I read. It was like 8 to 13 is what I read, but I mean that feels long, but okay.
Yeah. Like let's like wrap it up.
That's fun. Let's take a nap.
Yeah.
All right, Amelia, you got that one. Go ahead and assign a point value to our next one.
3.
Going in.
This will probably show my age because I don't know that either one of you guys will know this, but what was Drew Barrymore's medical condition in 50 First Dates?
Liz.
Amelia.
Oh, I think Liz got that one.
Amnesia.
Yes.
She
Nice.
did have amnesia.
Nice.
3 points, baby.
What's up?
Are we going to get competitive?
Oh my God. Is this our first fight?
It's a good thing you guys are in different rooms.
My cat might want to come out soon.
Okay. Liz, go ahead and do our next one. Assign a point value.
I will go for 3. Why not?
Say that again.
3.
Oh, no. 3. Okay. Okay. True or false? The average age for men and women in the U.S. to lose their virginity is 17 years old.
True. Liz.
Liz.
True.
It is true.
Oh, nice. I was like, that feels too obvious.
Yeah. I thought it was lower. I really thought it was lower.
Interesting.
And then it said in a lot of states that it is, like in like Alabama and things like that, like it's like 13, 14. Yeah. But the overall average for the
so I
state.
used my own reference.
Well, yeah, and the article I read was basically like, for all your friends that are telling you they're hitting it, they're lying to you. So don't believe them.
That's a good point.
So true.
All right, Liz, assign us a point value.
Wait, did I just assign one?
Yeah, but you got it right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's your gift.
I'll do 2.
2. Okay. What is the average number of sexual partners for adults? It's a multiple choice. A, 4 to 6, B, 6 to 8, or C, 9 or more.
Liz.
So, Liz,
I'm going to guess B.
you are correct. It's 7.2. So I hate to be the guy that was classified as the 0.2. And what I thought was funny about this was that it was also dependent on the state. So it said in Louisiana, the average person has 16 sexual partners.
Wow.
And in Utah, it was less than 3. It was like 2.5. And I was like,
Big
well,
shock.
More.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. I haven't thought that it might be different in other states.
Yeah. And Louisiana, of all the
obvious,
states, I was like,
It'd be.
get it.
There's
guys.
nothing else to do in Louisiana.
Yeah, everyone's just fucking. What else are we gonna do? Yeah, I wonder what if there's any sort of like, I don't know how they would know this, but like the sex ed programs in those different states, like how they would.
Teach them.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting to know.
Yeah, because it's a Bible Belt, so I suppose it would be abstinence is And it's clearly working, you know. It's
Yeah.
really.
They're really doing the trick.
They nailed it.
Got it all dialed in. All right. Okay, Liz. Don't get this one right? We're trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Give us a
Let's
point.
mix it up.
I'll do 3 points.
Okay.
For this one.
Just like give me like an easy one.
Just lob one out. Okay. This is also a multiple choice. What percentage of current relationships started online? A, 0 to 24%, B, 25 to 50%, C, 51 to 75%.
Amelia,
Can
I ask a qualifying question? What year did this come out?
I think this was 2019.
Didn't we just read a study?
We did. It was 2018 that we looked at, though.
I'm sure they're similar.
A? No?
Not according to the study I read.
Liz? Buzz in?
I guess I would guess like B then. Or maybe even, B.
Yeah, what I read, and of course the information is going to be, it's probably like dependent on who did the study, but it said 39% of all relationships right
That's
now.
high.
I thought the same thing, but like,
Wow.
yeah, that seems to be the only way people meet each other anymore.
Yeah, I guess
Actually-
that makes sense.
Amelia, the statistic that we read was the percentage of cheaters who have an affair on online.
It was cheating. You're right. It was a cheating stat.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, that's a whole another situation that I'm like, how is okay, so I don't know how, but I've ended up on cheater TikTok, which I like fucking live for, because I'm like,
It's
yes, let me hear all your details. I want
Hell
a part
yeah.
2. Like, let me hear all this shit. But the amount of times I see, and the unfortunate thing about TikTok is that you know that people are just creating content for the sake of like, I'm trying to get the likes. So I don't ever know if I can believe it or not. But the amount of times that I see a wife that has come across her husband's social media profile of like, here's his plenty of fish and all of the pictures and stuff. I saw one the other day that was, the wife was basically posted all of the pictures from his profile and was like, he's a cheater. And then he's in the comments like, yeah, you didn't deserve this or whatever. And I was like, oh, bro, you came to the wrong place.
The tea.
Yeah, because then
I love
everybody
that.
was like getting in on him and then going to look at his profile and all this stuff. And I was like, man, I live for this shit. But also, that's some real brazen activity right there to be like, oh, I'm going to take. And the same profile picture that he had for TikTok was what he used for his like Plenty of Fish or whatever it was profile. And I'm like, you're not even going to use a different picture.
I really like the idea of people like role playing as like cheaters online on TikTok. Who knows if that's the truth, but that would be a really fun activity to just like cause a fake fight in front of everyone. It's performance art.
Yeah,
That's true.
I literally
Would
saw
you
that
be mad? You were
Right.
entertained.
No, I'm here for the show, man. I'm here for the show. That's the thing. I saw one the other day where it was like, it was a son taking video of his mom physically removing his stepdad from the house, and it was like, oh, he cheated and whatever. There's a whole drama. And then you see in the comments that he's like, dude, it was a joke. It was fake. We acted it. It wasn't real. And I was like, you can't mess with my emotions like that, first of all, or put it on the thing. And then I'm like, oh, cool. This is just like, I'm here for the likes. Like, I want to see the show. But I think a lot of those people get backlash. And then those people that are in the videos are starting to get recognized as like, oh, you cheated on your wife. And he's like, no, I promise it was fake. I didn't, it wasn't
It was
real.
a bit, Your Honor.
She's trying to take my dog
Sometimes you
now.
have to do it for the bit. I support it.
Yeah, me too.
It might be controversial, but I publicly support doing it for the bit.
I'm here for the theater.
Yeah. We
true.
both are former theater kids, so
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
we're in it for the
Amazing
dramatic.
performance.
Like, you got me in the first half.
Well, yeah. And if that many people liked and followed based on that, I'm like, well, he's doing something right because it's definitely working.
You
Yep.
did the trick.
Okay, Liz. Give us points for the next one.
I'll pick one. We haven't picked one yet, so
Okay.
do that.
Watch this be the one I get.
True or false? The longest penis on record is more than 15 inches.
Amelia.
Amelia.
True.
That is true. The guy's name is Roberto Cabrera. And
Good
his
for him.
penis, 18.9 inches.
I think we might have talked about this.
Yeah.
Was it 18.9?
That's what it says. There was another guy that he was like an actor that it was like 13 something, but he wouldn't let anybody verify it. So this,
just believe
guy,
me.
just take my word for it. Yeah, man.
That's fair. Yeah. So I won't let anyone verify it.
Yeah.
I guess it could be someone wrote into us once and was like, how do I tell someone that my penis is really big? And then they tried to delete it and we're like, we already read.
Yeah.
No going back now.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, why? He's like, why do you keep going into my profile? Stop looking at my profile. We're like, no, I just want to see a picture of you in swim trunks.
Checking.
That's all.
Yeah, just science.
Pixar didn't happen.
I honestly, I feel like having a dick that big and then also having sex with somebody with a dick that big is kind of like, that doesn't sound like a great deal.
No, it sounds like a hardship. Like, it's nothing I would sign up for sure. All right, Amelia, assign us a point value.
Oh my God, I got one. 3.
You got one. Okay. What is the most popular U.S. dating app based on audience size? So how many people are subscribed?
Amelia.
Is this a multiple choice?
Amelia.
Damn it.
Tinder.
Trust your gut. Yes, it is Tinder.
That's what I would have guessed too.
Yeah.
She got 3 points.
Yeah. Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
You know what I thought was funny? That's right. They said of that, only 25% were women. And I was like, oh, that explains the sausage fest that's always happening.
That makes a lot of sense.
Spicy information.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is Tinder free? I don't know how that one works.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
I think you can pay for like tiers.
Yeah, there's like, I'm paying for, also I'm like very delayed. So like apologies for like, I'm like hearing myself in Liz's,
It's okay.
I'm hearing it so late. Okay, but I am paying, somebody asked me for advice on if they should pay for Tinder. And so I was like, I actually don't have any insight into how this works. So I'm paying for Tinder and I was like, I'm just going to do it a month just to like see. And it's worth it to pay for Tinder and I'm still paying for it. Like you get to see everyone who likes you. You get like top picks. You get to like undo left swipes and right swipes like right away. They make it worth your money.
Huh.
Not sponsored.
So if somebody swipes left on you, you're like, oh, no, you didn't. Mm-hmm. You will swipe right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's a lot of power. Okay. Who got that right? Amelia? Yes. Okay. Give me some points for this one.
3. Now I'm feeling real confident.
You should. You definitely should. This one's got your name all over it. Okay. According to a survey of internet searches, what is the most commonly searched sex toy?
Amelia.
Liz.
Amelia.
The womanizer?
No, but now I want to know what that means. That's a vibrator, right?
It's like a vibrator that has like a little tongue.
Oh, interesting. I think this is a very generic, like, in terms of sex toys, it's nothing, like, it's not the rabbit or whatever. It's just a generic, like, item of sexual pleasure.
I would guess dildo.
You're right.
Dildo. Not even, okay.
Pegging is gaining popularity.
It is. It really is. Wow, I'm surprised that dildo, like that term specifically is the one.
Yeah. Interestingly, the thing that I read was a list of all the states. It was like a map of all the states, and they had a picture of a dildo or a picture of a vibrator or a picture of a butt plug, depending on which direction that state.
Oh, interesting.
I thought that was a real fun map that somebody got to make up.
Very interesting. There's a map of like, I think every year Pornhub puts it out of like the most searched porn categories per state. And that's always really interesting to see what people are looking for in each state.
Real sketch.
Yeah, some of them are not surprising.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You see it and you're like, oh yeah, that tracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Amelia, tell me the points for this last one.
Last one. Let's go big or go home. 3.
Okay, 3 it is. This one, okay, we'll see again. Who was the male lead in The 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Amelia.
Oh. I don't want to decide.
Should we say it at the same time, Amelia?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Steve
Steve
Carell.
Carell.
Yes. Perfect.
That was a great movie.
It was so good.
Cinematic gold.
Yeah. The amount of times a week I quote something from that, like, oh, so she's a hoe? Like, she is a hoe. Oh, show. Yeah, like all of that stuff. Or like, hope you got a big trunk because I'm putting my bike in it. Like all of this dumb shit that my husband's like, yeah, bro, you need to like grow up with the movies that you watch. I'm like,
Everybody
I remember an interview with him, and he was saying like his son was pretty young at the time, and he's like, Dad, why do you look like stupid on this poster? Of the movie poster.
That's amazing.
he's like, yeah.
Oh god, it's the
That's the thing. And he has become such a silver fox. I was like, what? When did this happen? 12, 14.
He is a fine wine. That's Steve Carell.
With his
So
glasses and his like gray hair.
He's killing it.
I want to age well.
You are aging well. You're aging backward, Liz.
It's because I got a skincare routine and moved where there's some sort of humidity in the air. I moved from Las Vegas to Seattle, so I think I was like that SpongeBob meme where he's like a dried sponge. It's like water. And then I moved here and I became hydrated.
You also got out of a toxic relationship, and that does wonders for someone's skin.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll do it. Yeah.
Therapy made me youthful.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't even start wearing moisturizer until I was in my 30s. And I was like, this was stupid. Like, I wish somebody would have told me 10 years ago so I wouldn't be so far behind the game. So now I have 3 ring lights.
I can't even think of when I started wearing moisturizer and sunscreen every day.
Yeah. Oh, and oh, yeah.
Yep, that's a big one.
I feel like such an adult when I put on SPF. I'm like, oh, get me taking care of my skin.
Am I better than everyone?
I was just about to say that sound. Am I better than everyone?
I think so. If you wear sunscreen every day, you are
100%.
Yeah, you deserve to feel that way about yourself.
Just gonna walk around like
now,
this.
so I have to.
Oh yeah, see, yep, I can't, but yep, those are the. Once I started putting on eye cream, I was like, I have reached peak adulthood. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting my AARP membership. Just go from here. All right. So these are our point totals for the game. Okay. Coming in second first place, we have Amelia with 8.5 points. Represent. Which I did a whole episode on sports where we talked about the silver medal in the Olympics. That basically it's the silver medal is, the gold medal is 99% not gold. So basically, the guy who gets the gold, or the person who gets the gold medal and the silver medal are getting like the same thing.
Rude.
So just so you know, consolation prize. And our winner with 15.5 points, running away with it because she said 3 points and everything, and then she got everything right, like a smarty pants, is Liz.
Woo, she's from Vegas. She's all about the gambling.
Oh yeah, she knows.
I'm so bad at trivia. Like when quarantine first happened and everyone wanted to play Jackbox games and was like, let's play the trivia one, I would get mad. It's like, no, I'm gonna lose.
No.
It's not even that I want to win. It's just I'm embarrassingly bad at trivia. So I was expecting the worst with this one.
See, I love trivia. I'm like a ringer in trivia teams, but I'm a really bad test taker. So when I start to get like under pressure that there's like a point value, I'm like, oh my God, all of a sudden I don't even know my name. No.
What if you said Liz? We both could say Liz.
Okay. So do you feel educated? I feel super educated.
I feel super educated.
Actually,
I know so many things. Yeah. So many things. So I noticed that you guys also support, I don't know if it's your own group or if you're supporting somebody else's group, but the Consent is My Kink.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that and why people should support it.
Since I mansplained all of the stuff at the beginning. I'll let Amelia explain this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So and you can jump in, Liz. I feel like this is one of those topics that like I don't want to like miss anything on. But we had a 2-part series during Sexual Assault Awareness Month that we titled "Consent is My Kink." I'm pretty sure that came from
It's an
earlier episode.
In a different episode, and then someone messaged us and was like, I would totally buy Consent as my kink gear. And then the ball started rolling in my head. I was like,
Yeah.
well, Sexual Assault Awareness Month is coming up. That could be cool.
Yeah. And so we decided that all of our profits from the Consent is My Kink merch for the month of April was going to be going to Rain. So we had our friend, her name's Alora. She works with us. She has a brand, I guess that's the best way to describe it, called
She just makes her own stuff.
Hello Hysteria, and she is just unbelievably talented, and we love her style. So we worked with her to create these graphics for Consent is My Kink, and we just like put it on some merch, and we ended up raising, what was it, like $850 for Rain.
Nice.
Yeah,
which was
in a month.
really exciting.
And that was the first time we put out any merch too, so we're like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Fingers crossed. So it was really exciting to like. That's the first experience we had making merch, and for it to like go towards a good cause and not just like in our pockets felt really rewarding. And also to see people wearing it is like really cool and like kind of strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's ours.
Yeah. There's a weird sense of like, oh, these are my groupies. And the people are like, no, I just wanted the shirt. You're like,
Right.
okay.
We're doing this for Rain. Okay. We're not doing this for you guys.
Has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. We didn't even make it.
Yeah, no, it's cool to see people still taking, April was now a few months ago, and we're still getting pictures from people wearing their Consent is My Kink stuff and drinking out of their Consent is My Kink mugs. And I don't know, it's really cool to see we're still selling this stuff and people have slowed down on buying it. And it was cool to see people really coming out in support of Rain because it's such an important organization.
Especially, and for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Yeah, so we built kind of like a mini campaign around just raising awareness and talking openly about things. And making merch to go along with it, so it didn't have to, like, we tried to make sure, like, the conversation wasn't, like, really depressing and sad, because, like, you know, sexual assault survivors are, like, your friends, and you have fun with them every day. Like, not everyone's walking around, like, depressed like a little rain cloud. We're still living our lives.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we tried to kind of, like, put less of, like, a sad, scary angle on things, and, like, more... let's bring awareness to this and have real conversations.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it felt like it had an element of empowerment to it. Like there was a, like, take back this situation, take back the feeling around it, and like turn it around so people don't always think of it in a negative way. It's like, no, you can take control of this thing so that like I am in charge of what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
Awesome. Well, so where can people find your show?
Do you want to take this away, Liz?
Oh, I'm going to do it? Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And then we also have Patreon, where folks can sign up for different tiers to get early access to our episodes and videos. And we are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all under the Holy Hour. And they can email us at holyhourpodcast@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Nice.
It's my first time doing it.
Snaps
great.
for that. Yeah, awesome. And then when do your episodes come out so people know?
Our episodes come out every Friday for our regular listeners, and then every Thursday for our Patreons.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, guys. I really sincerely appreciate it. Check out the Holy Hour Podcast. They're fucking hilarious. Like, I listened to a bunch of clips today and I was like, man, it sounds like it's just a conversation on a couch with your best friend, but then they're talking about penises all the whole time. And I'm like, yep.
Fuck yeah.
Here for it.
Even when the mic's not on, that's what we're doing.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
True.
Perfect.
Thank
Awesome.
you so
Well,
much. This is so
Of
fun.
course. Thanks so much for coming on. And if you have not yet, please go to rate and review the show. I am now officially on Apple Podcasts after 16 years of battling with them. So if you have not yet, and you can go on and rate and review, I find it super helpful. Also, if you subscribe while you're there, that would be great as well. So we will see you next time. Thanks so much.